This is Blender. I'm going to go through how to make a low poly house with a few trees scene. Let's get started. General, and I like to hide the light and the camera just to get them out of the way. And we're going to use this cube. Okay, so let's go ahead. X is going to be a 6 and Y will be an 8 larger. This is going to be the base. And then our Z, let's do a 0.4 is great. And now make sure you hit Object and then Object, Apply, Scale. Okay, so you really want to have that checked off. We could just, we haven't changed these, but you could apply those as well. And now let's go ahead and go into Edit mode. Once I'm in Edit mode, what I'm going to be using is a loop cut. I'm going to click here and here. I need, we want kind of cubes-ish. That's 10. Let's just go for 10. Okay. And then on the sides, click. And I'm going to go for about 6 is excellent. Yep. And that's all we need there. So now I'm going to go back to object mode. And in object mode, we're going to go ahead and head over to modifiers. And what I'm going to do is add a displace modifier. Okay, and it kind of folds in a little bit here. We need to add a new texture. So new and yikes, right? But let's go down here to texture. And we don't want image or movie. What we do want is we're going to use the cloud texture to kind of create a rocky ground area. And that is looking great. So there we are, we have our ground. And now let's go ahead and start working on trees. So I'm going to do add mesh cylinder. Here's my cylinder. We don't want 32, we want 12 is sufficient. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up some. There we are. And then I'm going to be, let's just do 1. I'm going to be changing up the scale on this. So we need a Y of probably 0.3 maybe. X of probably about a 0.3. Oh, actually that's way too big. Let's do 0.2 and 0.2 and then a Z of maybe 2. Now let me take a look here. So that's looking all right. I'm actually even going to go smaller here. 0.15, 0.15, and maybe 1.8 is enough. All right, that's good. Let me go ahead and then pull that up. One more. Great. And edit mode. In edit mode, let's go to face select. I'm going to click on this top face, because we're going to further scale that one down. Scale. Trees taper in a little bit, and that's what we're going to do, that effect. And I was really liking a 0.65 for this. Perfect. And now let's use some loop cuts, because trees would not be perfectly upright. So let's use these loop cuts, and I'm going to grab my select tool and face select, and let's grab this first chunk. We're just going to turn it just a little bit. Wow, that looks crazy. Just like 1 degree, let's see. Yeah, that's perfect. And then I'm going to grab another section here. Let's see. Let's do this bottom section. And I'm going to actually use the move tool here. And again, I'm just kind of distorting, making the tree have a bit of character. I'm going to do 0.5, oops, negative 0.05, and there we are. So that is looking awesome. So now let's go back in object mode to add the top of our tree, which is going to go add mesh and iso sphere. So there's our iso sphere. I want to change this to a 1. I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to pull this guy all the way up. And let's say 4.4 is how much I pulled it up. Okay. And then we're going to start messing with this. So edit mode, I'm going to do, and what I'm going to do now, just to create some irregularity, I'm going to use select and start clicking on some of these bases. I'm going to click on a few. I'm holding shift to do this. Something like this, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and use, not rotate, scale. So I'm using the scale tool and something like that. Okay, so 1.1, 1.1, 1.1, and we're just changing the shape of this, okay? So let's do select again, and this time I'm going to do that. Select, and 1.4, sure, 1.4, 1.4, and let me see here. I'm going to increase, I don't know, the size of this one. 1.2, 1.2, 1.2. And we don't want them to all be the same. Definitely not. Maybe I'll make this one really big. So maybe 1.45 and then 1.3 and then maybe 1. Right? Something like this, or 1.4, whatever you want. I'm just making the shape imperfect, like a tree would be. So let's go ahead and do up here now. 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, something like that. Okay. And now I might pull this out some. You're just trying to make it look like a tree would. Great. Perfect. Okay, so that's my weird simplistic tree, and it's exactly what we want. Now, what I'm going to do is head into object mode. All right, so object mode, and then I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to do object, duplicate objects, and let's do 0, 4, and then 0 is great. Okay, and then I'm first going to resize the whole thing together. And yep, 0.85, 0.8, and then 0.75. Okay, and that alone really makes it look different. Let's go ahead though and rotate this. And something like that looks great to me. So now let's go ahead and select both of these. Move somewhere about here. And I did hold shift to select both of those for this tree as well. Perfect. So we have two trees. Now we need our house. Okay. So let me click off this. I am going to need to add a mesh, and that mesh will be our cube. There's our cube. I just pull this up so I can see it. I'm going to pull it up by 2. Okay. And then the scale of this, let's see here. Let's go ahead and something about that is awesome. So 3.5 let's do for that. And then the height, 2 for our height, and then our width will likely be, oops, that's not what we want. Our width will likely be 2. Two is great. So there we are. Okay, and now I'm going to go into Object, Edit Mode, and what we need is a loop cut. So I'm going to go here and click. Okay. And let's actually, let me quick go back into Object Mode. I'm going to move this up so I can see it. Yeah, that's great. All right. Edit mode. So I did a loop cut, and with my loop cut, I'm going to go boop, 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 and notice where I have clicked. Now that I have clicked here, I'm going to go ahead and pull up. I like to set my roofs at 1 point. 1.3 is great. And then what we're going to be doing now is, I'm going to use my select tool, but actually I need to use extrude region, but I'm going to hold it, and we want extrude along normal lines. Okay? Once I have that, I need to head over to Tools, Extrude along normals, Offset. Okay? Now, I'm going to select, whoops, get into face mode, select 1, I'm going to hold Shift, select 2, and then I'm going to click and pull. And I like -0.33 was working for me. Let's do -0.3. Perfect. And there is my roof. Okay. So now what do I need? Well, I'm going to need to extrude this. I'm going to pull, and let's do a -0.2 maybe. That's looking good. And then let me click over here and pull a -0.2 again. Great. And then let me select all of this, and then kind of up to you. I'm going to do -0.15. Awesome. And now I'm heading over here, and I'm going to click that. And then pull -0.15. Great. Okay. And now let me go back to my box select. Let's take a look at our lines. I would like some form of a door. So I'm going to do another loop cut here. And it will be a bit strange. This is fine. Okay. And then I would suggest something like this. Okay. And then for the door, I'm going to go ahead and go and I'm going to give this door a bit of texture. So face, extrude faces. 0.15 will be great for this. Okay. And then I'm just going to change it up some, make it a bit interesting, I guess. I'm going to kind of drag this over, right? So negative 0.02 and negative 0.01, something like this. And then for this, I'm going to just pull that over some, and we'll just do a 0.1 just to give the door a bit of character. Maybe this guy, we'll pull it a little bit over that way and do negative 0.05. Okay, and that helps add to the door, again, character. That's looking great. So let's now go back into object mode. And on this, we're going to do a modifier. And what modifier will be a subdivision surface modifier. And I'm just going to leave it at 2. You can play around with this, pick something you like. But it becomes a little bit like an ice cake in my view. So I'm leaving it right like this. This is great for what I want. I'm going to go ahead and push this now down. I have to see, we want to make sure it's in contact with the ground. Yeah, so I'm going to do negative 1.8 for my house. And now I'm going to add the chimney and then start adding materials. So add mesh cube. And then I'm going to scale this down. Let's see. Great, and now I'm going to add some material colors. Actually, I can do some of this in object mode. So first up will be the grass, and I'm going to do, let's go over to this. For my grass, I was thinking obviously a green, and it's going to be kind of cartoony colors. Something like this. And I guess I could increase the roughness a bit. It is grass, maybe a 7 or so. Okay. And then for the stems of my trees here, I'm going to select both of them at the same time, and I'm going to do new. And for that color, click, and the hex for that is going to be 654321. Boom. And the roughness, again, I'm going to do more of a 0.6 on that. And great. Oh, I guess I can't. Yep. All right. And then I'm going to click on this one, and boom. Okay. And now my trees, let's see, let's grab this and new. And, well, obviously a green. We're going to do a much more foresty dark green. something like this, just to make it definitely different from the grass. And for roughness, I'll leave that. We do want it distinct again from the grass. So I'm going to click now on this one and give it that same type of color. Awesome. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and select this guy and just kind of move it out. We'll move it out 2, and then I'm going to move it forward some so my trees aren't just hiding. We'll move it forward 7, and I'm liking that. And I'm going to move this guy a bit forward 2. Great. All right. And now for the house. So I'm going to want more of like a brick, maybe a muddy brick, even an Adobe type color. I'm going to click New. And then under New, I'm going to go Base. And actually, let's see. I brought up a hex. I like this one, I believe. BF6936. Yes, definitely. And I might even lower the roughness on this. We'll say it has a really clear, nice coat that they gave it. And that is looking awesome. For the chimney, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And what I'm going to do for the chimney, New, and I'm going to do a base color. And it's going to be similar to what I just did. But, okay, so let me type in the hex, BF6936. Awesome. Except I'm going to make it a bit darker. Something around that. Okay, and now let me go into edit mode so we can add some character to our house. In edit mode, I'm going to go ahead and get in select mode. And whoops. Object mode. Now edit mode. There we are. And then I'm going to use, and this, let's go ahead and select our door, and we're going to make that a distinct color. And I was going to go with the darker color like it was made out of wood. So I'm going to do boop and New, click here. And again, I have a hex for the color I was going to try out. It's 50351A, enter. That's looking good. And then the roughness, I'm going to go back up to 0.6. Let's go ahead and assign this and take a look. Let's see it in object mode. Yeah, so that's looking really good. Like an entrance, like a door. All right, head back over to edit mode. And now I want to color my roof. All right, and so I'm going to zoom out. And I'm just going to start selecting all of these panels. And now I'm going to hold Shift. There is a lot of them. I'm not going to worry about the underside of it. You can if you want, but I am good as is. Okay, and that's almost it. There we are. Okay, and with that all selected, let's go ahead. Actually, let's do the underside. It'll be easy now. Let's go ahead and do select, more, and now we got it. And great, with that all selected, I'm going to go ahead and click on plus and new. And the color I want is going to be a bit more orange, so I'm going to use the hex again, code, and it's 996255. It's going to be the color I'm liking. And then I'm going to go ahead and assign. Okay, let me click off. And perfect. My roof color as well. So let's go ahead back into object mode and zoom out. And we successfully made a cool little house that you can do a ton of stuff with. Maybe you want to make the chimney smoke with a smoke effect. Maybe you want to change up the colors, add stuff. If you do something really cool, tell me about it below. If you're still watching this, hit like, hit subscribe, gives me warm fuzzies. It is encouraging. And yeah, I hope you have an awesome, awesome house.